Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's as heartbreaking as it is perplexing. We're talking about Lauren Kidd, a young woman whose life was cut short in the most tragic way. This is not just a story, it's a plea for justice and a lesson for us all. Today, we delve into the life of Lauren Kidd, a young woman who grew up in the heartland of America, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. On the surface, Lauren was the epitome of joy and vitality. Her smile was infectious, the kind that could turn a bad day around for anyone fortunate enough to cross her path. But don't let that radiant smile fool you. Behind it lay a complex tapestry of emotions and struggles that Lauren grappled with every single day. You see, smiles often serve as masks, and Lauren's was no exception. She was a young woman wrestling with her own inner demons, hidden vulnerabilities that stood in stark contrast to the cheerful persona she presented to the world. So, as we peel back the layers of this intricate story, prepare yourselves to step into the shadows that lurked behind Lauren's sunny disposition. It's a journey that will take us from the cozy, tight-knit community of Broken Arrow to the darker corners of the human soul. Before we delve deeper into the enigma that was Lauren Kidd, it's crucial to understand where she came from. Born on December 5, 1996, to Krista and Joe, Lauren was the youngest sibling in a family of 4 children. Her brothers Joshua, Dustin, and Tyler were not just siblings but her closest confidants. The Kidd family was a tight unit, bound by love, laughter, and shared experiences. They moved around a bit, exploring different places before finally settling down in Broken Arrow. It was a community where everyone knew your name, where neighbors looked out for each other. It was the kind of place where you'd think nothing could go wrong, a safe haven that promised the quintessential American dream. But even in the most idyllic settings, tragedy can strike like a bolt from the blue. And for the Kidd family, that tragedy revolved around their beloved daughter, Lauren. What was it that led to her sudden and inexplicable disappearance? What secrets was this close-knit family harboring? As we dig deeper, we'll find that even the most secure homes are not immune to the unpredictable twists and turns of fate. As we peel back the layers of Lauren's life, we find a young woman grappling with complexities that many of us can't even fathom. By 2009, Lauren was not the same bubbly girl that her family and friends knew. She was diagnosed with ADHD, a condition that can be as mentally taxing as it is misunderstood. The medication she was prescribed did more than just alter her focus, it changed the very essence of who she was. Her family watched, almost helplessly, as the medication seemed to dim the light in Lauren's eyes. But that wasn't all. Life threw another curveball at her with the passing of her grandfather, a man she affectionately called Papa. The weight of these challenges led her down a dark path, one that included self-harm. Her mother, Krista, recognizing the signs, found her a counselor. It was a step, a small but significant one, towards reclaiming the Lauren they all missed. And for a while, it seemed like things were looking up. In 2014, Lauren met Zach, a young man who made her heart sing again. The family liked him. He was like a breath of fresh air, a sign that maybe, just maybe, the worst was behind them. But life is rarely that simple, is it? As we'll see, the roller coaster that was Lauren's life was far from reaching its final turn. Love, they say, can be the light at the end of a dark tunnel. For Lauren, that light was named Zach. By the middle of her senior year, they had moved in together, a big step for any young couple. But Krista, ever the intuitive mother, sensed something more was going on. Her suspicions were confirmed when Lauren announced she was pregnant. The arrival of their daughter, Addison, in March 2015 was a moment of pure joy, a new chapter in a book that had seen too many sad pages. Lauren and Zach decided to make it official and tied the knot in 2016. It seemed like a fairy tale, didn't it? But as we all know, fairy tales are not real life. After their wedding, they moved in with friends, Connor Brunner and his girlfriend, Alex. At first, it seemed like an ideal arrangement, a community of young people navigating the complexities of adulthood together. But cracks began to appear. Not just in the walls of their shared home but in the very relationships that held them together. Both couples started to drift apart. Their relationships strained and frayed at the edges. It was a ticking time bomb, and no one knew when it would go off. By 2017, Lauren's life was a whirlwind of emotions. On one hand, she was a working mom, meeting new friends and trying to build a stable life for her daughter. On the other hand, her home life was anything but stable. Lauren and Zach, once the epitome of young love, found themselves at a crossroads. They loved each other, yes, but love sometimes isn't enough. They decided to divorce, a heartbreaking decision, especially with a child involved. But life has a way of throwing curveballs, doesn't it? Lauren revealed something shocking to her family and Zach. She was in love with Connor. Yes, the same Connor she was living with. The twist: Connor and his girlfriend Alex had broken up. And now Lauren and Connor were more than just roommates, they were a couple. However, love is never simple, and neither was their relationship. It was fueled by passion but also marred by substance abuse. They were like a match and gasoline, a dangerous combination that could either illuminate or incinerate. Their relationship was a roller coaster, full of highs and lows, love and fights, an emotional tug-of-war that left everyone around them on edge. October 26, 2018, seemed like just another day for Lauren. She was supposed to call her mom, Krista, for a ride home from work, but instead, Connor dropped her off. Krista was puzzled. She thought the volatile relationship between Lauren and Connor had ended after their last big fight. An argument erupted between mother and daughter, words were exchanged, and little did Krista know that would be the last time she'd see her daughter. The next day, Lauren had plans to hang out with her friend Blake. He dropped her off at a Shell gas station near his home, where she met up with another friend, Mike, who was going to give her a tattoo. Everything seemed normal, just friends spending time together. But when 6 p.m. rolled around, Lauren was nowhere to be found. Calls went unanswered, texts ignored. A sense of dread began to fill the air. Blake wasn't the only one who was worried. Krista, too, couldn't reach her daughter. She reached out to Zach and Connor, but neither had heard from her. Zach was particularly concerned. He and Lauren had plans to take their daughter Addison trick-or-treating, but Lauren never showed up. As the clock ticked past midnight, Blake made a call that no one ever wants to make. He contacted the Broken Arrow police, officially marking the beginning of a missing persons case that would soon turn into something far more sinister. As the investigation kicked off, the police had their first prime suspect, Connor. Blake told them that the last time he saw Lauren, she was getting a ride with her friend Mike. But Mike had a different story. He said that Connor showed up at his house and picked Lauren up. She told Mike she'd be back later, but she never returned. Connor's initial conversation with the police was over the phone. He claimed that he did pick Lauren up and that she wanted to go to Walmart. But then, she changed her mind and decided to walk to a friend's house. The police were skeptical. They checked the surveillance footage, but Lauren was nowhere to be seen. Then, a chilling message arrived. Krista and Joe, Lauren's parents, received an anonymous tip. Someone claimed they had been with Connor and had seen blood in his car. Blood that was splattered all over the seats, the cover, and the floorboards. This was the break the police needed. They immediately obtained warrants for Connor's car, his DNA, and his cell phone. But Connor wasn't done talking. He agreed to come into the police station for questioning. And that's when his story began to unravel. Connor's interview at the police station was a roller coaster of changing narratives. At first, he stuck to his original story. He picked up Lauren, they drove around for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then she decided to walk to a friend's house. But the police weren't buying it. They confronted him with the fact that they knew Lauren hadn't been to Walmart, as he initially claimed. Then, Connor's story took a darker turn. He began to weave tales of drug deals gone wrong, of mysterious drug dealers with guns, and even claimed that one of these dealers had killed Lauren over a dispute. It was as if he was grasping at straws, trying to divert attention away from himself. But the evidence was mounting against him. Geodata from Connor's phone on October 27th led the police to a specific area where he had been for about 10 minutes. Later that evening, he was seen at Walmart buying clothing and cleaning supplies with his ex-girlfriend, Alex. When questioned, Alex said Connor told her that one of his friends had been shot, but she didn't know their condition. She also admitted to disposing of Connor's clothes and seeing him clean his car. The police examined Connor's car and found a large amount of blood, which was later confirmed to be Lauren's. The walls were closing in on Connor, and it was becoming increasingly difficult for him to maintain his web of lies. As the investigation continued, the police received an anonymous tip that would change the course of the case. The informant claimed to have been with Connor and had seen blood all over his car's seats, cover, and floorboards. Armed with this chilling information, the police obtained warrants to search Connor's car, collect his DNA, and examine his cell phone. When they confronted Connor with this new evidence, he finally broke. He admitted to killing Lauren. According to him, they had an argument in the car, and in a fit of rage, he aimed a gun at her and pulled the trigger. It was a confession that sent shockwaves through everyone involved in the case, especially Lauren's family. But the horror didn't end there. Connor told the police that he had disposed of Lauren's body in a dumpster at the Come and Go gas station. When the police searched the dumpster, they found Lauren's blood and her bracelet but no sign of her body. It was a gruesome discovery that left everyone asking, "Where is Lauren?" The clock was ticking, and the urgency to find Lauren was palpable. The police, armed with Connor's confession, initiated a search and rescue operation. They reached out to a specialized team, asking if cadaver dogs could be brought in to assist. The team agreed, and what happened next was both a relief and a tragedy. The dogs led the investigators to a paper mill in McCurtain County. It was there that they found what no one wanted to find: bones and skin that were later confirmed to match Lauren's DNA. The discovery was devastating. A young girl who had her whole life ahead of her was reduced to remains in a desolate location, far from home. This grim discovery confirmed the worst fears of Lauren's family. Her mother, as the community mourned, the wheels of justice began to turn. Connor Brunner was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. His trial began in January 2020, and the courtroom was filled with tension, sorrow, and a desperate need for answers. Connor's defense was a web of lies and inconsistencies. First, he claimed he drove Lauren around to buy drugs and kicked her out of the car. Then, he spun a tale involving drug dealers, one of whom he said killed Lauren. But the evidence was against him. Geodata from his phone, blood in his car, and his own shifting stories all pointed to his guilt. The prosecution presented a compelling case, backed by irrefutable evidence and heartbreaking testimonies from Lauren's family. They revealed that Connor had been seeing another woman while dating Lauren and had referred to her as a parasite, a term that sent chills down the spines of everyone in the courtroom. After what seemed like an eternity, the jury returned with their verdict. Connor Brunner was found guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 38 years. But even as the gavel came down, one couldn't help but feel that justice was only partially served. Lauren was gone, and nothing could bring her back. As we come to the end of this harrowing journey, it's hard not to feel a profound sense of loss. Lauren Kidd, a young woman with dreams, struggles, and a family that loved her, was taken from this world far too soon. Her daughter Addison will grow up without her mother, and her family will forever have an empty seat at their table. But if there's one thing we can take away from this devastating story, it's the importance of never taking our loved ones for granted. Life is fragile, and it can change in an instant. We must hold our loved ones close, be vigilant about the signs of domestic abuse, and never stop fighting for justice. Connor Brunner will spend decades behind bars, but the scars he's left on the Kidd family and the community of Broken Arrow are indelible. As for Lauren, her spirit lives on in the memories of those who loved her and in the lessons we can all learn from her story. So, as we conclude, let's not just remember Lauren as a victim, but as a daughter, a sister, a mother, and a friend. Let's honor her memory by being kinder, more compassionate, and more aware of the struggles that those around us may be facing, even if they're hidden behind a smile. Thank you for joining me on this emotional journey as we uncovered the tragic story of Lauren Kidd. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with others. By spreading awareness, we can hope to prevent similar tragedies in the future. Remember to subscribe to this channel for more compelling true crime stories. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. My heart goes out to Lauren's family, and I hope that justice brings them some measure of closure. Let's continue to seek justice and make this world a safer place for everyone. Until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, and never forget the preciousness of life.